In this exercise, I'm going to show you another way to recolor a selection, still from the Recolor Artwork dialog box. But this time, we're going to take these 4 shades of blue that are at work inside the t-shirts, and we're going to replace them with 4 other colors that are found inside of a color group. So basically, we take one color group and replace it with another color group in one fell swoop. Very simple operation, very effective as well. I've saved my progress as newearthtones.ai, and I'm going to scroll over to the right side of this document here and select the 2 t-shirts in the 3rd column. And we're going to make a color group from those colors by going over here to the swatches panel and clicking on the new color group icon. That'll bring up a dialog box. I'll just go ahead and call this shades of blue, let's say. And work from the selected artwork, of course. Include swatches for tints is just fine. I don't care about global colors, so I'll leave that option off. Click OK. And we end up getting too many colors, as you can see here, because we not only get the 4 shades of blue, but we also get the rich black, the weak black, and then white. And the rich black, weak black, and white are already defined elsewhere inside the swatches panel, so we sure as heck don't need them, and we don't want to reassign them to other colors anyway. So we need to delete them, but in order to do that, so we don't mess up our artwork, we need to deselect the artwork. So go ahead and click someplace in the illustration window, or you can press Control-Shift-A, Command-Shift-A on the Mac to deselect everything. Then I'm going to click off the color group to deselect it. I'll click inside this rich black there. I'll shift-click inside the white swatch, and I'll drag him to the trash can. All right, now we have a nice 4-color group, which is great. I'm going to click on it to make it active here. And hopefully that will now make it the active harmony rule here inside the color guide panel. It is, that's great. Now let's switch back to the swatches panel, and here's the idea. We need to find a color here, either in the swatches panel or you can define it in the color panel. It's up to you. That is a different color for which we want to replace this first color inside the group. So this first color inside the group is going to be our key color, our base color for our modifications. So what would we like to change it to? Well, this red looks good to me if we want to come up with a pair of red t-shirts, for example. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that swatch to make it active. And then I'm going to tweak it slightly inside the color panel, ever so slightly, just to give you a sense that you can do this kind of thing. I'll just go ahead and reduce the yellow value to 85%, let's say, and I'll take the cyan value up to 20%. So just a slight modification. Then I'll go over to the color guide panel. And again, the only reason I did that was just to demonstrate that you can either work from the swatches panel, you can work from the color panel, you can work from both if you want. Now notice that our previous harmony is still in place. So we now have red as the base color. And if you don't, go ahead and click on that little red guy there. And then you will have a few shades of red that are analogous to the shades of blue that are already assigned to the t-shirt right now. So that should work out beautifully for us. Now I'll drop down here to the bottom right corner of the color guide panel, and I'll click on that little folder with the plus sign in order to create a new color group. And then I'll switch over to the swatches panel, and there it is. And if I want to, I could rename it by selecting that group and then going up to the flyout menu and choosing color group options. And then I would go ahead and call this red shades, like so. Click OK in order to create that new color group. All right, let's employ this color group to recolor these 2 t-shirts right there. So I'll select them. I'll go up to the Recolor Artwork icon, click on it. That brings up the Recolor Artwork dialog box. And then let's go ahead and expand the dialog box to the right there by clicking on that icon to the far right side of the dialog box. That exposes the color groups. And now notice that I can click on red shades. And that's all there is to it. It just goes ahead and reassigns all the colors inside the t-shirts to analogous shades of red. Now then, if I wanted to tweak those colors, I sure as heck can. I could go to the edit option right there, make sure all of my colors are linked together, which they are. And then I could, let's say, reduce the saturation of all the colors by dragging the base color, the big circle right there. And if I wanted to make the colors a little oranger like so, then I could move them around. That is, drag that base color around. I am now moving one of the other colors that's not a base color. So I'm modifying the saturation of, it looks like the shadows in this t-shirt or something, or possibly the base color in the t-shirt is what I'm changing. Yes, indeed, that was it. And now I might make this guy a little more saturated and a little oranger as well. So whatever modifications you want to make, go ahead and make them. When you're done, all you have to do is click OK. Now, before I click OK, though, I want you to see, notice red shades is now italicized, indicating to me that the new colors that I've selected are different than the colors that are in the red shades group. So when I click OK, Illustrator is going to say, hey, do you want to save the changes to that group? Now, you recall I was complaining like crazy about this alert message a few exercises ago, because if there's nothing selected on screen, there's no reason when you're inside the Edit Color dialog box that you wouldn't save your changes. However, if something is selected, it does make sense that Illustrator asks you. It's just, you don't have to figure out the difference, don't you know? But anyway, in this case, it's like, well, I don't know. Actually, all I wanted to do was change the color of the t-shirts. I'm not sure that I actually do want to change the color of the group, so I'll say no, because I can always make a new group from these t-shirts if I want to. I could go over here to the swatches panel and I could say, you know what, let's save these guys to yet another new color group. And I'll call these something like, scarlet shades, let's say, because they're slightly oranger, and then click OK. And then we get a bunch of black and white. So I have to click off my artwork to deselect it. And I have to grab this shade of black and this white and the colors in between. So I clicked on one, shift clicked on the other, drag them to the trash can, and Bob's your uncle, we're done. So you can see how easy it is if you go ahead and take a moment to create, first of all, a swatch group that's based on the existing color scheme inside of your selection. Then employ that same harmony to build up a color group around a different color, and then go ahead and switch out one color group for another inside the Recolor Artwork dialog box.